Do I look smug right now? Hopefully I look really smug right now, because I absolutely feel smug right now after that. Celtic have beaten Rangers at Ibrox, a massive, massive win for Ange Postecoglou's men today. We've got Stevie on with us. I'm a bit out of breath as well. It's been a hell of an afternoon at Ibrox. A game that I'll remember for a long, long time. I hope you all will as well. I hope you can hear and see us loud and clear. Stevie, we probably don't need you for this one, mate. Just you go and get a wee drink or something. I'll do this whole video. I could speak for the next half an hour, guys and girls. Stevie, the floor is yours, mate.
I'm really, really proud of getting into that game. We were really nervous all week. We were excited as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, after the start we had and how that team recovered, how they stood up to that crowd, how they stood up to the players, how they stood up to everything thrown at them, and they made me and you, I want to look at you as well, smiling so much. It's got to the point, everyone, that I haven't done my notes. I've not done any of the notes.
Notes, just like form, notes go out the window on a day like this.
Yeah, that was my part, you know. But no, the notes are away. Right now, just a Bam Pot fan like everyone else. And honestly, the way that this, like Angie's team, had recovered in that game after that horrible start was incredible. I mean, I would have taken that draw before the game. But to get the 3 points, and not even that, to be comfortable during that as well, and it's unbelievable. I'm really, really proud of the manager on that team, honestly, and the fans that were there, the noise. We heard more of the fans in the second half than that.
Fans were brilliant.
Unbelievable.
You finished?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, I think.
Oh, just don't worry, we are going to try and analyse the game in some sort of way, but it's just I think you know, you get other channels that will maybe look at the game and all that, and we'll try and do that in the coming days on the channel. But in general, I just want to just get summed up how we're all feeling after that, because relief is what I feel after the way that game went. I think second half, you know, as much as Rangers were the team who were pressing the most for the goal, Celtic still have the two best chances in that half. But just the fact that the team came back from the way we started that game, conceding a goal after 2 minutes. So many people in the channel, you know, Asim said it yesterday on the video. John, I think, said it as well. This team responds well to chaos, and let's not get away from it. It was chaos in those first 4 minutes. We couldn't complete a pass. Rangers were rampant, like they've been in so many, you know, big games, especially at home this season. But Celtic just slowly and surely edged their way into the game, and in the end, I think it's a deserved victory when you look at the chances we had in the second half.
Totally.
We'll go back to when the team was announced then. I think that it was kind of the team most people had predicted, apart from Tom Rogic playing instead of Matt O'Reilly. I guess right away Rogic has, you know, earned his place in the team with that goal. Yeah,
well, I did say before the game, remember in the Friday preview, no matter what the team wasn't going to be groaning and grumbling, and Ange would trust, and you saw that, justified it really. But I was surprised Rogic was thrown in. It's funny because me and Hamish have got a chat. It's hard to believe that we interact after these games, but we do. But me and Hamish have a chat, and it was the exact same team. It was announced about 9 o'clock last night in there, and even then I was like, okay, well, if Rogic is playing great, and it was like usually in these games with Rogic and all that, it's I've always been a wee bit sort of iffy with him, but I fully trusted him in this one, and obviously justified that there today. But before the game, I didn't see a lot of complaining about the team. Everybody was quite confident in what we were going to do. It was about playing to our strengths, and when Rogic has turned up in big games this season, Celtic have been great anyway.
What about the start? Where do you think that came from? Because let's face it, as I say, Celtic were awful in the first few minutes.
Anyway, I think they would have been saying in their head they're prepared for a chaotic crowd, they're prepared for a hostile environment. It's alright saying that, but I think when you actually get to there and you hear it for the first time, that's what's going to play a part. There's nothing that can prepare you for it, and I think we were caught off guard. And at the same time, you do unfortunately have to credit Rangers that they did come at us in those first 5 minutes. They were targeting Greg Taylor, they were targeting Juranovic, it was long sort of diagonals onto the A2, and I think that's where they saw they were going to get their joy, and they eventually, they did in the first few minutes of the game really.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said a few times in this video already, Celtic just couldn't complete a pass at all. You know, we'd all been saying in the lead up to the game that we didn't have any concerns about Celtic playing in this environment, that I felt we'd play our football. We didn't do that at all in the first few minutes, but kind of from that point on, I think it's worth pointing out that I think Callum McGregor, you know, led like a captain today in a very different way to Scott Brown. Scott Brown kind of led with his general leadership, and
Yeah.
maybe Scott Brown would commit a foul here or there that would spice the team up and get them motivated. McGregor kind of led with his football today early on, and he actually had the run that leads to the Rogic goal. And I think that was a massive moment in the game. I think scoring so quickly after Rangers got their opener
kills them.
was huge. I mean, you said it at the time that it killed the atmosphere there.
Yeah, you noticed that, because I think you made a great point there with Brown as well. Brown would have got in their heads mentally, wound up Ryan Jack and everything. It would all been bluster and bravado. But Callum McGregor on the pitch,
it's kind of symptomatic of Celtic compared to previous years.
Yeah, Ange just wants all the talking to be done.
Football.
Ange wants everything to be done in the pitch, and that's what we saw today with McGregor. McGregor could have easily got in their faces and could have done what Brown did, but he's a totally different player. He took three other players out and then fed Gigi. He had a shot, so I blocked Hatate. I think McGregor's...
It was Rogic with the first shot, actually.
Rogic, and then McGregor's probably got to do better with Hatate's effort, I think. But I mean, Rogic as well in that environment on a half volley like that,
it's a great finish.
to put it in the opposite side of McGregor. But the timing was so huge for that, Hamish. We said it at the time. Their fans, their crowd was so buoyant. They were rampant after that goal. And then as soon as Rogic scored, hit them flat. And it was almost as if they were going, oh wait, they're actually not terrified by us, and we would have get so much confidence for that.
Is there a time, I'm asking everyone here because we had a wee chat about it earlier, is there a time previously Celtic have scored so quickly after Rangers at Ibrox? The one that springs to mind was the Commons one in the 2-2 cup game when the Bruni, no, was that the same game? Yeah,
yes, it was.
Commons scored quite
Jamie
quickly
Ness scored,
after
and
Jamie Ness.
then
That's the one that kind of sprung to mind, but I don't think it was as quick as the response today. But from that point, as I keep saying, Celtic just grew into the game. We scored from a set piece. It was Carter Vickers. It was a great finish. But even prior to that, it won't be spoken about at all, but Celtic should have a penalty. I mean, Maeda's taken out by McGregor. It's a stonewall penalty when you see the replays. Maeda had another chance as well when he went through and couldn't quite go round McGregor.
Yeah.
So Celtic, as much as Rangers had a lot of the territory, especially in the second half, Celtic had the big chances, and you couldn't really argue with going ahead 2-1 at half time. Second half, I think a lot has been said about this Celtic team, especially in the early days, and not to throw Stevie under the bus, everyone, but you did make a comment, and I know you're going to touch on it right now. In fact, it was you that brought it up about questioning the Celtic players' mentality away back in September at the start of the season. I mean, that's been answered just emphatically now when you look at the way every single Celtic player in that team stood up in the second half. I could go through the whole team and we will come on to them, don't worry, but I mean, Maeda was just unbelievable in that second half. Yakimakis was unbelievable. Starfelt, Carter Vickers, who both were shaky early on in the game, I thought were just brilliant. The amount of headers Starfelt had away in the second half. The fullbacks really grew into the game. Greg Taylor, who I was bemoaning in the first half, was excellent in the second half. Juranovic grew in, Ralston came on, was brilliant. Beaton was sensational when he came on. McGregor was excellent. This Celtic team they grew into the game, and they just battled the whole match.
I think in these games as well, as much as tactics play a big part in game preparation does, you're also going to have a battle. And every one of those players stood up to Rangers in the second half. They knew what they were up against. Rangers were going to throw everything at us, and they soaked it up and they hit them in the counter as well. And you know what, if it wasn't just for a couple of decent saves, poor finishing as well from Maeda, that scoreline would have been far more comfortable. But I honestly felt so proud of the players in the second half. I mean, we're there as fans watching that game, kicking every ball. I mean, me and Hamish were getting stressed out during the game. We were so nervous as well.
Mate, stressed out is the biggest understatement ever.
But it was, and but what is so weird, everyone, is that in the first 20 minutes I felt far more nervous than what I did in the last half hour, and I think a lot of that was because Rangers had used up all their energy. They were a spent force, and I think that's what played into Celtic's hands. Like Celtic, I think our players were realising this mob are just very desperate now. They were starting to go long far more. They weren't playing the wee pinpoint passes for the 18-yard box. They were actually just starting to hit long balls, and we were mopping them up. And I think psychologically that was a key thing, because our players were starting to go, well, they're getting to the point, it's at 60 minutes here, and they're now just going long, and they're realising that the longer that game goes, a draw would have suited our players as well. Like, even if we did concede,
but you never got the impression that they were looking even at half time thinking,
even if it went to each in the last 10 minutes, Ange would have went, right, let's go up in the park and score a winner. But as the longer that game went on, 2-1 to us, I think our players mentally would have went, well, even if we do concede, it's not a catastrophe for us. Whereas for them, a draw might as well have been a defeat. I'm just so happy for them, because for all the abuse that they took off the media, for that defence, for the manager as well, and even as well when I criticised them back in September, it just goes to show that the way that manager's dealt with them after the international break, he's got them at Lennoxtown, he's been working with them sort of day in, day out, and the recruitment that we've made, been able to bring on, as you say, be able to bring on O'Reilly was fantastic. What an option for 5 minutes, but what an option that was. But honestly, I mean, I won't shut up about Daizen Maeda. A sensational performance. He was brilliant.
Have your moment then, because he was. I mean,
for the get-go.
Exactly. In terms of, like, obviously you've got amazing derby performances in the past. Dembele, Edouard, etc., scoring goals. But in terms of a kind of under the radar, without actually scoring a big goal or even setting up a big goal, in terms of just the effort, the application, he was everywhere.
Unbelievable.
I'm half expecting you to have to budge up in 5 minutes, because Daizen Maeda is going to join us in the channel, because he's everywhere. And first minute to last minute, he was absolutely everywhere. He was pressing Rangers, and just want to put my hand up, that's why I wanted him in the team straight away. And as you said a minute ago, I can't remember if it was off air or when we were recording, he can't come out of the team now because
undroppable.
Yeah.
Totally undroppable, and not even that. He was on the left. He was pressuring Bassey. He was pressuring Tavernier. He was pressuring Golson and Balogun. They would have hated that. They didn't get a minute's peace, and he didn't even look knackered at all. Yeah. I mean, we see it. We watch the guy week in, week out, but on that level, and that stage, to put in that type of performance, just unbelievable, man. He was the man of the match for me. A sensational display for him. Yeah.
A point I want just to make, Rangers threw absolutely everything at Celtic, and I don't just mean the team. We had fireworks going off at the hotel last night, we had the intimidating atmosphere, the pretty poor choice of songs that we've come.
I remember an amazing tifo as well from them.
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff we had, I really disappointing but hardly surprising episode at half time when a glass bottle was thrown on to where Joe Hart was about to dive, smashed bottle pieces. I mean, just really, really poor stuff. Everything was thrown at this Celtic team today, and we've still come away from Ibrox, that intimidating venue where they've taken away our 7,000. They've taken away the 7,000 and given us 700 in the corner. They've tried everything, as I say, fireworks, intimidating songs, glass bottles, chucking stuff, coins at Jota, other things as well. And Celtic stood up today, and we gave those 700 fans and everyone else around the globe, and I know you're watching everywhere. I've had messages from Australia, USA, Ireland, Scotland as well. An amazing feeling, and I think it makes it even better, this feeling right now, that it was at Ibrox. And I just want to say, by the way, we deserve everything that is coming our way right now. Every little bit of good, every single one of you watching this, we all deserve it, because we've had to put up with a lot of crap last season. We've got a team to be proud of now, a great football team, a great battling team, and I probably shouldn't say this, but for me, a title-winning team as well. I think Celtic will win the league.
I'm going to back you up on that. I'm going to back you up on it right now. It's a shoot. I can't see past this Celtic team anymore. I just can't. I mean, that was a defining one today. Said before it was a title-defining game, and they've come out and they've won at Ibrox. And not even that. They've got to remember they haven't been beaten there since March 2020, I believe. Hamilton game. They went unbeaten all there. They were unbeaten this season as well. They've beat very good teams in Europe. And I think what's more important now is, I honestly feel, as much as that was great for us, I think that deflates them, because they'll be getting into that game against Braga with that unbeaten record away, the fact that they have been so buoyant getting into the game thinking, oh no, this Celtic team, all you need to do is get at them, be physical, be aggressive, and they'll go to pieces. We haven't went to pieces at all, Hamish. They'll probably now be out of ideas, because that's their game plan out the window with the Braga game too. I genuinely think we have smashed our season, and I'm not on here full of bluster and bravado. I still know Rangers are a decent football team, but it's not about them anymore. It's about us, and it's about us going from strength to strength, and the manager will soak this in, the players will soak this in, but we'll be focused on St Johnstone and gubbing them now next week.
Yeah, and that's the next one. Listen, we can go 9 points clear next Saturday, which is just huge. 9 points clear, and we've still got Rangers to come to Celtic Park. We've
3 home games coming.
Four out of our last 6 are at home. We've got all that goal difference, which is up to, I think, 16 ahead of them now. But the thing I want to mention is, yes, we enjoyed that victory. The players enjoyed it in front of the fans, but something we both commented on. Ange wasn't celebrating a title win today. Ange was celebrating another step, albeit a big one, on the way to winning the title. And you better believe it, the Celtic players, they might get tomorrow off, it might be a recovery day, but they're going to be back in next week looking at St Johnstone. Now I have no doubt that Celtic are going of Celtic taking their eye off the ball here. You know, Celtic are now going to be ticking off game by game, and we're now looking at the scenario almost, as Asim said yesterday, where you're almost looking at the game where Celtic can win the league now. I mean, we're 6 points clear with 6 games to go, but just talk to me about Ange, because he was happy. He probably feels a lot of pride, maybe a bit of emotion as well, but he's still laser focused that there's still work to be done.
Yes, that's why we're in the position we are now. He's not a complacent manager, doesn't take his eye off the ball. Like, if we were going into one into that game, like, let's contrast. I'm not bringing other managers into it, everyone, but like you were saying during the game, that when we went to the last time we went 2-1 up at Ibrox was 2011. El Kaddouri and Hooper scored, but you always felt it maybe got to that group of players' heads, and that was again a strong Rangers side. And you saw in the second half they overwhelmed us. Now they could have done that again today, because there's been so much thrown at the Celtic team after the Bodo game as well. Everybody like seemed to compare our performance today. Like a lot of, like Rangers, for their viewpoint, would have saying play like Bodo did, but they've not got the players and they've not got the energy or the athleticism to do that. But that's the main thing for me. The fact that the manager would have got the players in at half time and said, we're in a good position here. We could easily throw this away. Yeah. We've got to be focused, we've got to be determined, we've got to be big and strong. And they were. Now I said in preview shows that the big one for me was when we beat Boavista and when we came to Ibrox and we won 2-1 there. It was quite similar, because we went in level at half time. We knew they were going to throw everything at us, and we were big and strong, and that Celtic team were again today. The best thing about it is they've got that experience of a win at Ibrox now. The next time they go there, they're going to be even harder to beat. And I'm looking forward to just seeing how this Celtic team grow. As a fan, I just couldn't be happier, I couldn't be prouder. Honestly, as I said, the notes are away.
Have you got a wee smug face?
I do. I have a very smug face.
I want to see it.
Well, here you go. It's a very smug coupon. I'm just happy for everybody connected with the club today. And my voice is going, so you have to carry on.
2,500 on watching us, by the way, at the moment.
God, my voice is going here, but I'm surely the fans aren't going to criticise me here today.
Right, we're going to get into some comments now. I've picked out 6 or 7 here throughout the stream. Ian, heart rate maybe starting to return to normal. What a performance. We've also got Kevin, to even get this close to the title, considering where we were last season, is an immense achievement. Just have to keep the head now and bring home the main prize. Plixiplox, our good friend.
Legend.
Are we going to sing this one?
No, you
We're
can do that.
at the top of the league, looking down on the Rangers, and the only explanation I can
have a few more drinks and then I'll join you.
It's the fun we have found since Sanchez been around.
What a legend. I'm just not drunk enough.
Top of the league.
What a guy.
Anyway, Aldi, since Ralston's late winner against Ross County, the team has real resilience to it. Yep. Kookaburra mentioning the resilience as well. Resilience of the team was unbelievable. I am so proud of this team. Mon the hoops. Matty mentioning McGregor. What a captain. 1-0 down and drives the team forward to get the equaliser. What about the fans? Because 700 of them there.
Unreal.
Brilliant.
Unreal. And, you know, hopefully, as I said on Friday, first and foremost, they're safe and they get back safe. But you couldn't hear Rangers in the second half. They resorted to a couple of that sectarian songbook that we know and love. I say that with inverted commas there. But the fans were just incredible. The last half hour, the way they were rolling on the team, brilliant. And can you imagine? Just a shame that the fans that get to go home and away everywhere. There was a lot of fans that go away in Europe missing out today. Yeah. But of course, I think they'll be buzzing as well for the 700 that were there.
Forever.
Aye, definitely.
You're outnumbered about 70 to 1 or
something. It was so special for them, and I'm just buzzing for the fans that were there today. They were incredible.
Oh, I could stay on forever. I think we're going to round it off, because I've got a few pints of Guinness calling my name, and we're going to have a hell of a night, and I hope all of you are as well. Stevie, final thoughts on a momentous afternoon for Celtic.
Unbelievable for Celtic, and it's ours to lose now, really. And I just want to also say that this is where you're going to get embarrassed here, but the amount of work that Hamish has put in this week onto the channel, a lot of people maybe see it with the Q&A, but Hamish, with the amount of research and the amount of preparation and planning that he does, and then when it comes to doing these videos and doing the editing, he's been hard at it all week. A lot of people I know that have been tuning in to 67 Hail, getting right up for this.
Man, you've done enough. I appreciate it though.
Alright, fine.
20 quid. No, but in all honesty, Stevie's done some great work as well, but you don't want to hear us both blowing smoke up each other's asses. So we're going to leave you for now. Listen, everyone, have an incredible Sunday, whether it's Monday morning, whether it's Sunday night, if you're this part of the world, wherever you are, whatever you're planning, just enjoy every minute of this, because we've earned every minute of this. And I have a funny feeling there's more good times to come under Ange Postecoglou and Celtic. You know, the Champions League's calling us next season, put it that way. It's been an incredible day to support Celtic. It's a day that will live with me for a long time.
And I just want to also say very, very quickly, the last time we were here, we remember the mood I was in when we were at this bit after Hibs.
Yeah.
Couldn't be different now. It's like a total 180, and thank you, Celtic.
Yeah, thank you, Celtic. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. I love you all. I love Ange. I love everyone else. And yeah, we're going to say goodbye. An incredible day, everyone. Enjoy yourself. We'll be back tomorrow with another video where I kind of feel like I'll have a smile on my face. Take care, everyone, and hail.